It's a collection of 18 stories which have one common goal: to educate people about autism and provide hope for people who are in the early stages of trying to figure out, is there light at the end of the tunnel? And I'm thinking of families with children who have recently been diagnosed. I think this book will be a marvelous help to them.
People ask me, why are you so interested in the Autism Centre and people with autism? When when Joyce Churchill first came to me a number of years ago, actually it was back in 2002, and she's telling me her story about her son Stephen and nowhere to go and no programs, no services, no nothing. So I looked at her and I said, well, what can I do? And she said, Elaine, we need a place for them to go and learn. So I went to my darling Craig and I said, Craig, what do you think we can do? And he said, okay, what do they need? So we started from there with fundraisers in our home. And yes, Craig gave personally matching donations and so on. Hence, and sometimes I wonder if it was a curse that my name is on the building. But when I walk in there and I see Jimmy and others like him, and I see the difference that the programs and our wonderful staff are making in working with, I mean, Jimmy, you go in, hi, my name is Jimmy, what's yours? I mean, it opens up your heart, and you just want to be able to do more and more for them. And there's so many stories like Jimmy, even our Tom Jackman here, when he first came in, Tom wouldn't talk to anybody. He, as his mother said, she couldn't get him out of bed. But now we can't keep him quiet. So he has come a long way.
One of my strongest gifts is the ability to focus my mind and to research something until I've found the answer. I participate in a monthly photo contest for a magazine where you have to identify a picture that could be taken anywhere across Canada, and I am rarely stumped. I use my internet research skills and abilities to find a location and come up with the answer for the photo contest. I also handle a television camera for Rogers TV that covers the St. John's Ice Caps. I have the focus needed to follow the ice hockey players and action during the game, and I love to research all the stats on players from both teams. People with Asperger's syndrome tend to be very honest and hard workers. I always do the job right the first time. I don't waste my time or my employer's time when I'm at work. A fault I have is that I don't like to leave until everything is done, cleaned up, and put away. Sometimes that takes more time than is expected. I find it hard to say no. People with Asperger's make great employees because they're focused and diligent. It may take a little longer to train them, as they will have lots of questions, and a mentor on the job is important. But once you know what's expected of them, they're fantastic. Sometimes my honesty gets me into trouble, because if someone asks me, do you like my new dress? And I think it's awful, I won't say it's lovely. I might tell them how I really feel. That's not the best way to impress people. Marie Curie, Albert Einstein, and Mozart, among others, had Asperger's syndrome. I'm glad that I'm in such important company. Hans Asperger, who identified the syndrome, wrote, "It seems that for success in science or art, a dash of autism is essential." Asperger's syndrome gives me an incredible eye for detail. As a child, I loved finding spelling or grammar errors in the newspaper. I'm very good at thinking outside the box and finding solutions to problems that people can't see. I seem to see problems from a different perspective, and it can be very helpful. I don't have emotions clouding my view of the problem. The two areas that pose the most challenge in my life with Asperger's, and I'm still working on these, are relationships and employment. Many people with Asperger's crave acceptance and love through a romantic relationship, but few know how to actually go about finding and maintaining one. People with Asperger's love just like anyone else. A partner who learns about Asperger's and makes the necessary adjustments to cope with what's lacking and difficult in the relationship can be ensured of a fulfilling relationship. With the right kind of communication and a strong desire to make the relationship work, anything is possible. 85% of people with Asperger's are underemployed. It's not because of their work ethic. It stems from office politics, interviews, and the social side of work. Also, fear and lack of understanding of autism. If employers really look at the skill sets of the applicants, look behind their quirky habits, mentor them, and pay them the same as any other employee with all the benefits of the position, they would find that they would develop a very stable workplace with little turnover of staff. Instead, too often, people with disabilities are taken advantage of in the workplace. Do the events of my life indicate a hopeless disability? Sometimes I think Asperger's is a gift and a curse at the same time. It is an advantage to have, is it an advantage to have Asperger's syndrome? Is it an insurmountable burden, or is it a difficult balancing act between both extremes? Let us think, for example, about the story of Dumbo. Disney's Dumbo may not seem to be a film that portrays disability, but its main character, Dumbo, has a deformity, extra large ears. His big ears are not his fault, so why should he be treated differently because of them? Well, that's just the way things are, even among animals. However, when Dumbo realizes that his big ears give him the unique ability to fly, he becomes famous and popular. Is the problem of his big ears cured? No, his big ears are unchanged and still a part of him. However, what was initially regarded as a disability is now perceived as a special ability, admired by all. There is no disability, only different ability. You choose how to see it.